Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to study about cirrhosis. This is one such topic which most students find difficulty in. I made it simple, and if you write in the same manner you'll gain more marks. Before starting the topic, I request you all to like, share, subscribe this channel. Now come to the topic, cirrhosis. So what is cirrhosis first of all? It is condition where there is replacement of the normal liver parenchyma by fibrosis. Yani there is replacement of normal liver parenchyma, that is normal hepatocytes arrangement or normal structures of the liver. So there is replacement of normal liver parenchyma by collagen fibers or fibrotic tissue, and this occurs due to persistent injury. Now understand the definition. It is nothing but condition where there is replacement of the normal liver parenchyma by fibrosis due to persistent injury. As per inflammation, what we studied in that chapter, whenever there is injury, there occurs acute inflammation first. Then, if that injury persists for a longer time, it becomes chronic, and at last, chronic inflammation leads to fibrosis or scarring of that particular tissue. So now, cirrhosis, it occurs due to repeated cycles of hepatocyte damage and repair. So whenever there is injury, the hepatocytes are damaged, and in compensation it tries to repair itself. In that process, if that process occurs repeatedly, this leads to cirrhosis. There are three main characteristics of cirrhosis. The first one is, as I said, fibrosis. But over here there is a very characterized type of fibrosis, that is bridging type of fibrosis. Why it is called bridging type? Because it connects this fibrosis links the central vein to the portal triad. This is normal structure of hepatocyte lobule, right? Hepatic lobule. So in the center of it is central vein, and at the periphery they are portal triads. So this bridging type of fibrosis occurs in a way that it links the central vein to the portal triad. And then the second characteristic feature is the nodule formation. Why nodule formation? See, whenever there is hepatocyte damage, right? So that hepatocytes, when they repair or regenerate, they regenerate in the form of nodules. They take the arrangement in the form of nodules rather than cords. They become clumped, it seems. Hence, it gives a appearance of nodules. And at last, as we know that there is continuous hepatocyte damage and repair, due to this cycle, there is also loss of architecture. What are the causes of cirrhosis? As I said that there is persistent injury due to which cirrhosis is occurring. What are those persistent injury? What are the factors? So over here, as I said, it is the persistent injury involves alcohol intake, excessive alcohol intake. Hence, cirrhosis is basically the end stage of any liver disease. As we have end stage renal disease in kidney, in the similar way over here, whatever liver disease it's there, it persists, and at the end stage it leads to cirrhosis. In the similar way over here, the first is alcoholic liver disease, it leads to cirrhosis. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, if not treated, leads to cirrhosis. And that persistent injury may also be due to viral infection. That viral infection may be hepatitis B or hepatitis C viral infection. Then cirrhosis may also be due to any metabolic disorders like alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Alpha-1 antitrypsin, as we know that it is antiprotease. What are proteases basically? Proteases are the enzymes which are involved in injuring the tissues, destroying the tissues. So our body has this enzyme, this molecule which inactivates that proteases, and thus helps in maintaining the tissues healthy. So alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency may also lead to cirrhosis, hemochromatosis, that is accumulation of iron. Then there could also be cardiac cirrhosis, that is cirrhosis secondary to the cardiac failure. Now pathogenesis. Pathogenesis is the main ingredient of cirrhosis, right? We are studying pathology. So pathogenesis, this is very simple. See, whenever there is persistent injury, this leads to activation of Kupffer cells. Kupffer cells are macrophages, and we know that macrophages are inflammatory cells. So whenever there is persistent injury, it leads to activation of Kupffer cells. This Kupffer cells then releases some growth factors and some other cytokines called platelet derived growth factor PDGF and tumor necrotic factor TNF. Now, these factors activate stellate cells. What are stellate cells? Stellate cells are nothing but they are present between the sinusoids and the hepatocytes. ठीक है, यहाँ बीच में sinusoids है in the liver, right? And this is the layer of hepatocytes. In between the sinusoids and hepatocytes there lies the stellate cells. And stellate cells का function क्या है? Normally it helps in repair, wound healing में help करता है. If there is any damage to the liver, it helps in repairing. And secondary, it also acts as storage for vitamin A. Now come back to pathogenesis. Whenever there is persistent injury, this persistent injury leads to activation of Kupffer cells. This Kupffer cells in turn releases platelet derived growth factor or tumor necrotic factor को release करेंगे. These two substances stimulate the stellate cells which we saw, and stellate cells they release another factor called tumor transforming growth factor beta, TGF beta. अब ये TGF बीटा के थ्रू दिस stellate cells now tries to repair. They repair by recruitment of collagen fibers and smooth muscle cells. ठीक है, तो stellate cells का फंक्शन ये था कि उन लोग रिपेयर में इन्वॉल्व हैं. Hence in the same way they help in repair by recruitment of collagen and smooth muscle cells. In this, if now what I said, and if there is accumulation of collagen and smooth muscle cells, it leads to fibrosis, and fibrosis in the liver leads to cirrhosis. This is very very important. Try to put this diagram or flow chart in your paper, you'll get full marks. Now, as now we understood the pathogenesis, the fibrosis now leads to what we'll see. As I said, this is like a schematic diagram, you just understand. Over here is the central vein, and at the periphery there is portal triad, right? And at this two lateral ends we have the hepatocytes, and in the center we know that the sinusoids crosses the hepatocytes, like between the hepatic cords. So this is sinusoid, and as I said, in between the sinusoid and the hepatocytes there is stellate cells. Over here you can see. And remember, sinusoids are pore containing vessels, right? They have got large pore or fenestrations. Due to fibrosis, now what happens is there is activation of the stellate cells. As we studied, this now produces a lot of collagen fibers. This collagen fibers, now what it does is this collagen fibers closes this perforations or fenestrations. Due to the closure of this fenestration, there is formation of, or I can say that sinusoids are now converted into capillaries, right? Because it is totally closed, no pores are there, no fenestrations, and due to this fibers, as these fibers are closing this fenestration, this leads to capillarization of the sinusoids. This is one such character of cirrhosis. Capillarization of cirrhosis, and due to capillarization there is no passage of the nutrients or all those things, hence it becomes impermeable. And there is bridging fibrosis, as I said, central vein to portal triad in this way. So there is collagen deposition, bridging fibrosis. Morphology now. As we study the morphology under gross and microscopic appearance, first of all, gross. As I said, and the hepatocytes takes the arrangement of nodules. So we can say this cirrhosis as nodular cirrhosis. So basically nodular cirrhosis is divided into micro, macro and mixed type. Micro, macro and mixed type based upon the size of the nodules. If the size of the nodules are less than 3 mm or millimeter, then it is micronodular cirrhosis, and if it is more than 3 mm, then it is macronodular. If we see both type of nodules, then it is mixed type of cirrhosis. And there is very good mnemonic for this, where micronodular and where macronodular cirrhosis are seen. Micronodular cirrhosis is seen in this conditions, and to remember these conditions there is a mnemonic called बच्ची. ठीक है, लड़की और बच्ची. Then B stands for Budd-Chiari syndrome, A stands for alcoholic cirrhosis, C stands for cirrhosis due to biliary obstruction, H stands for hemochromatosis, and I stands for Indian childhood cirrhosis. You can see the size of the nodules, these are very small. Now come to macronodular. Macronodular, you can appreciate the size. This is schematic diagram, but you can differ it right from this. It is seen in 3 conditions. We can remember it with the mnemonic WAP. W stands for Wilson disease, and A stands for alcoholic cirrhosis, and P stands for post-necrotic cirrhosis. So this is the mnemonics with which I remember it. This is basically important for the entrance exams. Now come to microscopy. Microscopy, you can see hepatocyte destruction. Then there is arrangement of the hepatocytes in the form of nodules, and as I said, there is capillarization of sinusoids and bridging fibrosis. These are the 4 things you can see under the microscope. You can see over here that there is destruction of the hepatocytes and they are taking the shape of nodules, right? This is macronodule, and this one is micronodule, right? You can appreciate. So it is basically mixed type of cirrhosis, mixed nodular type of cirrhosis. After studying the morphology, we'll come now to the complication. This will be the last topic, last subsection. So what are the complications? The first thing is portal hypertension, because यहाँ पर जब फाइब्रोसिस हो जाएगा, ठीक है, जब लिवर का फाइब्रोसिस हो जाएगा, ठीक है, तो अब होता है ये है कि क्यों अब पोर्टल वेन में प्रेशर डेवलप हो जाएगा, ठीक है, बिकॉज इट कैन नॉट पम्प द ब्लड आउट, pumping in the sense it cannot distribute the blood out to the areas of the liver because of fibrosis. Hence the pressure, there will be backflow within the portal vein, and there is increase in the higher pressure of the portal vein, leading to portal hypertension, right? And due to portal hypertension there will be ascites, and there will also be splenomegaly, and there will also be esophageal varices, caput medusae and hemorrhoid, because these are the regions. We know that the blood or the blood from the GIT is taken up by the portal vein, right, collected by the portal vein. So whenever there is pressure developed in the portal vein, there will be backflow, and when there will be backflow as seen in this image, whenever there will be backflow in the portal vein, there will also be pressure within the mesenteric vessels, right, mesenteric veins, and mesenteric veins they supply the GIT, right? So due to increased pressure within the veins, there will be increased hydrostatic pressure, leading to outflow of the fluid from the vessel into the peritoneum, leading to ascites. And it also collects the blood from the spleen, right? So whenever there will be portal hypertension, there will also be hypertension within the splenic vein, and this leads to increased pressure leads to splenomegaly, because the spleen becomes congested with the blood, hence splenomegaly. And there is junction of the venous system and the portal system at certain places, right? In that places, few of them are esophagus, like lower esophageal part contains this junction, and there is also portovenous junction near the rectum and also around the umbilicus. So when there is portal hypertension, there will be vasodilation of this esophageal portovenal junction, leading to esophageal varices. And there will also be tension within the portovenous junction at the rectum, so it leads to hemorrhoids. And when there is portal hypertension around the umbilical veins or like umbilical vein, in the sense the veins surrounding are present within that area, so there will also be tension within those veins, leading to formation of caput medusae. This is the image of caput medusae. You can see there is varices formation over here. I know this video became too long, but if you write in this way, there is high chance that you'll gain more marks. So please, before leaving this video, like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.